And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It is April 23rd. It's Thursday, 2026. And there are days that are kind of not newsy, calm. Well, I don't know about calm. And then there are days where, as we state, boy, there's a lot of jello moving on the plate. Want you to listen up carefully on what we have to say as far as certain things going on in Mr. Market. This is serious talk on everything that affects you. The markets, the economy, your job, your industry, anything. War, tariffs, scam, shams, corruption, you name it. Stocks going vertical, stocks going into the basement. Wait till you hear today, and whatever else. And if you do not get this radio show in your city, we will post it at GaryK.com, also on our X feed. If you don't follow us on X, you should. Just put our name in. If you'd like to email us, just be nice. Be respectful. And I have an email to go over today that we never name names and stuff, but I'll explain a little bit and you'll get the hint. All right. First off, market's closing in 10 minutes. We're down 230 and down 260 on the NASDAQ. It was better early. It was worse. I can tell you that in the day, during the day, there were reports coming out of Iran. Markets really started dropping. I think at one time we were down 600 on the Dow. That Iran speaker, who was seen as one of the members more willing to negotiate, had resigned, leaving just a bunch of hardliners. And I will tell you, at the low of the day, the Dow hit, I didn't realize it hit that far down, 48,861, 627 points. We're only down 227 right now. The NASDAQ at one time today hit 24,209. That's about 180, 442. It's down about 260 right now. And then, of course, it comes out a little bit later. No, not true. Then news came out, Israel's waiting for the green light from the U.S. to resume war with Iran. Came out not true. We think. And on and on and on and on. But that's not even really what I want to talk about today, because we think one of the things that is most important is when we say to you, I'll give you one of the best examples. We've been telling you that the payroll stocks, and there's two we follow, ADP and Paychex, topped out in June and have done nothing but ride this roadmap down. Bear market. Big hits. Software. We had told you on November 4th it had topped out. When the market put in a low, what was it, about 12 days ago? Software has rallied up. But there's a bunch of names in software that rallied up but never broke the bear market roadmap. And for those that do not get our webcasts, the best way I can describe it is, let's just say you're on I-95 North and you're traveling up from Miami up to West Palm. You're just going to take that road up. That's all you're going to do. Not deviate, not get off in Boca Raton. You're just going to take that road up. Or better yet, since we're talking on the bearish side, West Palm down to Miami. You're just going to take the road down. You're not going to stop in Lauderdale. You're not going to stop in Hallandale. You're going to take it all the way to Miami. Roadmap. So in bear markets, you have this roadmap that is the physicality of the market that is plotted on a picture. So software was doing better, but never in bull market mode. And also in comparison to the semiconductors, it's like trying to compare the Dodgers to the Mets in baseball right now. But no, the Mets won last night. Overnight, IBM reported earnings, and it's down $20 today. It was down about 28, but near new yearly lows, IBM. And they said something about softening in software. And then you had ServiceNow, and this is one of those bear market stocks. How many days do we come on this show and say ServiceNow? It was down 17% today, $84.93. They lowered guidance. Software. And in case you don't know, it topped out at about, really? Didn't even realize it's that bad. It topped out at $240. It's $85. So we knew that was coming, but we didn't know the effect. They're slamming the living crap out of all the other software names today. The names that never broke trend and stayed bearish, real bad day. New yearly lows for some of them. The ones that have been trying. And when we say trying, Microsoft went from 553 down to 356 and rallied up to 420 when the market recently bottomed. Down $17 today. Oracle, down 11. Salesforce.com, down 17. Adobe, down 17. You want percentages? Adobe almost 7%. Salesforce.com, 9%. Microsoft, almost 4%. Oracle, 6%. SAP new yearly low down 6% also. Those are the big ones. Imagine what some of the small ones have done. So we're just letting you know that software rallied up with the market. They're just kicking them in the teeth today. And off of earnings reports from others and getting kicked in the teeth in sympathy. That's that. There has been no software stocks in bullish mode. They have been in recovery modes. And yeah, I'm a little bit on the surprise side that two names are just beating the heck out of. My left screen is beat red today. Palantir Software down $11 today. Palantir is down 7.2%. How about APP, which was trying, down 6%, down $30 today. CrowdStrike, which has really tried hard, down 4.5% or $21 today. I can go on. You get my point. There are going to be other companies reporting earnings in software. We'll see what comes. Microsoft, I believe, is next week, but we're just letting you know they kicked the living crap. We actually did a midday webcast just on software, just to show quite the damage, may I state for the record, which takes me to the next part of the equation. And again, we had told you when it was going up and going down that the transport index has been skewed by one stock. So just letting you know, the transports today are down 812 points as we speak. Yesterday, we're not making this up, the high was 24,825 yesterday. It's at 21,060 as I speak. Do I have to say that again? This is an index. 24,825, 3,800 points on 24. More than 15% for the index. But we'll do the but up next on Investor's Edge. So, the transports in real time, because its market's closing in a couple minutes, are down 832 points. Avis Rent-A-Car is down another 214 points today to 228, down 48%. That's not even the story. Yesterday's high was 847, 848 to 228. What is that, 70%? It had a classic short squeeze, and once got squeezed out, crashed. And amazingly, just so you know, today transports, Union Pacific is up $22 on earnings, with Riders up 15 on earnings, Norfolk Southern in sympathy with Union Pacific up $23, FedEx up $6. Yet the transport index got trashed just because of one name. So I'll repeat what I said yesterday. They need to take Avis Budget Group out of the transport index about as quick as can be. They won't listen to me. Anyway, we had to bring that up. Next, well, we just finished. Dow down 180, was down over 600, S&P down 30, NASDAQ 219, NASDAQ 100, 154, the semiconductor index, holy crap, up another 170. Why? Texas Instruments up $44 on earnings. That's why. Which had Analog Devices up $17 in sympathy. And I'm trying to think if there's anybody after the close that... Oh, Intel's reporting after the close. I wonder what they're going to say. Guess what? Intel. Yes, that Intel. I got it up 9% in the aftermarket. Already. Market just closed. I guess they reported. I'll have to see what they said, but obviously the market liked it. Earnings 29 versus 2. Expectations were only 2 cents. They earned 29 cents. Revenue 13.6. Estimates was 12.4. Nice. Nice. So Intel is not going to hurt the semiconductor group again tomorrow. Wow. Intel. All right. So we did the software. Semiconductors, Intel in the aftermarket. We do want to let you know Texas Instruments was up 40s. United Rentals sandbagged the earnings, was up $184 today, 22% on earnings that were up 10%. Revenues up 7%. Not exactly the most powerful. As we mentioned, Union Pacific up over 20%. Ryder up 15%, both in the transports. Yet the transports again were down over 800 points because of one frickin' stock. Wild day, but finished okay. And I think Intel helps in the morning. Not as if these semiconductors needed any more help. I'm looking to see if anybody else after the close reports. Not seeing much else of import. But Intel, dang. for the day. Well, I take it back. Intel's up $9.50. Make that 10 in the after hours. 14% as I speak. Wow. It's not even a surprise anymore because the stock has been acting well. All right, let's move on. Meta, firing 10% of the workforce. Just letting you know. 8,000 people. We're starting to see a lot of that. And as I have said to you on this show, make yourself indispensable if you are working for others. There is a cultural move afoot. I guess the word's cultural. Move afoot to really pare back on man and women power for technology of whatever sorts. Just letting you know. I'm not kidding. I don't know all the talk about AI and jobs and stuff. I don't know. I've heard some companies report, because of AI. I don't know. All I can tell you, there is a move afoot, I believe, culturally in business, and they can always hire back. So you better make yourself indispensable on whatever you do, and you get to define what indispensable means. Simple as that. Boy, the semis are up nicely in the aftermarket. Dang! Intel. I'm going to have to read that on the airplane tonight. What else? A lot of moving parts today. Weed. So, for the record, it nauseates the hell out of me that the administration is lowering the class of weed as a drug to make it more, I guess the word is acceptable. I think that sucks. I believe I think medically, okay. Medically, okay. But it is an addictive drug. I know a lot of people. You know where I'm going with that. Anyway, not thrilled. We got a lot of emails. Do you think we should buy marijuana stocks? And I simply say, may want to sell the news. Because you do have to ask yourself a question. And the question is, just because do you think more people are going to smoke because they changed the class drug? My answer is no. So be careful. We told you a very long time ago on marijuana stocks, don't do it. And I think most are down like 90% from the highs of a few years back. And that was about as big a gimme as Beyond Meat. When we said to you, this plant thing ain't gonna last. Up next, whatever I can think of. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Boy, that Intel, another fire on the semiconductor stocks that were already strong. AMD, in sympathy in the aftermarket, closed at 305, got it at 315. ARM Holdings closed at 204, I got it at 211. Nice. Hey, next. Anybody know who Ken Griffin is? This has something to do with New York City and where we're going. So you got this guy running New York City, Mamdani, Jew-hating, Israel-hating, anti-Semitic, racist piece of crap. By the way, as I always say, I tell it to his face. He says he's a democratic socialist, but he's a communist. In fact, he used language pretty much out of the Communist Manifesto about sharing the wealth and means of production. This is his own words. This is right out of the manifesto. I was amazed. I was amazed. Did I tell you I was amazed that he put out a video? They're coming up with this new tax on expensive homes, which is bad enough. Tax this, tax that, tax this, tax that. I still have on my wall all the proposed taxes of Kamala Harris. Long-term capital gains from 20 to 44%, unrealized capital gains, wealth tax. The Trump tax cuts go bye-bye, raise the corporate tax. God only knows what she would have done. But Mamdani puts out a video. And names Ken Griffin. In case you don't know who he is a billionaire hedge fund guy, and he has business in New York City, including a real estate portfolio. They maintain a massive workforce in New York City, and get this, I want you to listen carefully. Employees have paid $2.3 billion in local taxes over the past 5 years. That's local taxes. The mayor of New York goes on video and names him and tries to shame him. While Mr. Griffin is in the midst of massively expanding his New York City real estate, he's developing, get this, a $4.5 billion tower on Park Avenue. Guess what Mr. Griffin's considering? Getting the hell out of there. Taking his employees with him. Because this Yutz puts out a video, and by the way, does it in front of Mr. Griffin's home. This unbelievably successful man, where his companies fund New York to the tune of billions over the last 5 years, has the mayor, instead of thanking him, giving him the middle finger. The communist middle finger. We'll see how it plays out. It's amazing to watch, ladies and gentlemen. As I've said forever, 2 words to start. If able, people, business, capital will flow where they're treated best. You've seen it happen. I'm in Florida. We're seeing it all the time. The numbers that have moved from certain cities and states are huge to lower tax states. The disrespect some of these people have for the mean, wealthy people. I don't know where it got to the point where these communist Marxists and socialists believe if you have too much money or make too much money, you're bad. So we'll keep on top of this. We'll see how it plays out. And I'm bringing this up Listen carefully. Because this party that Mamdani is in is winning the House in November because our president has absolutely zero discipline and stomps on his own head every day. And there is a chance they're going to get the Senate. The good news is this president will still be president in those 2 years, so the left will not really be able to get much done that they want to get done, and you know what that means. Their greasy, grimy, sleazy, slimy hands in your pockets. But after that, you got 28 coming up. We'll see. If you have a chance, go look at the video of a mayor of New York. If I tell you he was wetting his pants with glee over his ability to tax too expensive. It's too expensive. We need to take some money out of that. I've never seen somebody so happy going after other people's money. Go look at the video. Quote from the spokesperson, "It is shameful that he used Ken's name as an example of those who supposedly aren't carrying their fair share of the burdens associated with New York City's often costly and wasteful spending. In doing so, the mayor has once again manifested the ignorance and disdain of the elite political class towards those who have been consistently committed to building one of the greatest cities in the world." And the chief operating officer has raised the possibility that they may not move forward with the Midtown construction project, which, by the way, is not underway yet. And again, we bring this up and we elongate it a bit. These people on the left are not your normal left. This isn't your normal Democratic Party. They're out to get you. And if you think it's only the rich, no. You know what they do? Their policies are to prevent you from becoming rich. Every time you move up the ladder, they're ready with something else and a higher number. How dare you become successful? Again, we'll stay on top of it and we'll see how it plays out. But the big story right now is Intel after the close, and it's got some other semis lighting up like a pinball machine. As I see it, ARM, AMD, they're on the move. Going to be another interesting morning tomorrow. Again, indices were down today. The semis were up. Stunning. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Those are the 5 things I had written down. Ken Griffin, the car, software, Meta firing 10% of the workforce, and weed. What a compilation of things to discuss. Anything else sticking out today? Lululemon. Lululemon today was down another, get this, 13%, almost $22 to $141. Lululemon topped out at, you ready for this number? How about $516 December of 23, 516 to 141. You can figure out that percentage, right? That's over 70, I believe. Wait till you hear what they're hiring or who they are hiring. That's up next on Investor's Edge. So, I root for everybody's success. Everybody's success. I love success stories. In fact, on my phone, I have this one place on Instagram, which, by the way, follows everybody around. It's titled, if I can find it again, Visionary. I had it here somewhere. I got to look for it. It has to do with companies and the things that they're doing very well. Love success. I just have a simple question. Nike, and then we'll get back to Lululemon. Nike stock topped out back in 21 at $179. It's $44.78. Why am I bringing up Nike with Lululemon? Because Lululemon, again, was down another $21 today. Usually you hire a CEO to hopefully turn things around, right? No, it was down almost $22, 13%. Lululemon is hiring a veteran from Nike to run Lululemon. Now, I don't know her. In no way, shape, or form do we have any interest in putting her down. But we just got to say, you're Lululemon and you're going to hire somebody from a company that stock has been destroyed as earnings and sales have gone south? That weirded me out today. More importantly, it weirded the institutions out today, and they sold a lot more Lululemon today. I am rooting for her. I hope she does great things. That's all I can say. That was the weird story of the day. I would think they'd hire somebody from Ross Stores or Five Below, whose stocks are doing good and their numbers are darn good. But what do I know? We'd avoid Lululemon and Nike still. And as we told you, we visited Lululemon a couple of times. And my father was a genius retail-wise. I'm not. But it just seemed to me that what they were charging versus what others were charging on the outrageous side. Anyway, we'll stay on top of it. In other news today, the president has now changed his mind again and said, well, I got all the time in the world. I don't. That's ceasefire. We don't need to worry. As I have said to you, I don't care what he says. I'd say it to him. Militarily, A++. Tactically, D. And they are separate. I believe they miscalculated everything. I believe they're very lucky we have a great military. Because, again, tactically, a lot of weird things. And for the life of me, to conduct a war on social media, I don't understand. And there have been days where he has said 5 different things on a war. On a war. Fingers crossed, hands clasped, everything gets done, and we get to frickin' move on. Because I gotta tell you, no fun. Lastly, I don't know if I have time. I got an email from somebody. 3 weeks ago, I bought USAR at $17. A week later, it was $14.50. I was down $6,000. You kept harping on no sales companies day after day, including this one. So it sneaks back to 17 3/4 on a Friday. I get out. It's now 25. Thanks for nothing. So just so you know, that's weird. I don't know this person. I don't believe I manage his money. He bought almost a no sale stock. Bought it, sold it. I have nothing to do with it, and emails me with a little nasty thanks for nothing, because after he sold it, it went up another whatever amount. Isn't that amazing? And he blames me for harping on no sales companies day after day, which is a lie. We do not do it every day. In fact, we've been maybe bringing it up once every 2 or 3 weeks. Isn't that amazing? Somebody blaming me for a trade they did that I had nothing to do with. I love people. And by the way, this emailer has emailed me quite a few times, and I'm pretty sure I've emailed him back and got along just fine. And then he sends this doofus of an email. So I was my usual charming self, emailing him back. And that was that. Into tomorrow. Intel's the big story. And I can tell you that a couple other semis in sympathy. ARM is up 19 for the day now, up to 216 in sympathy. Closed at 204. AMD is up 14 for the day, up 12 in sympathy. And then there's Intel. I can't wait to do a deep dive on that sucker tonight. I don't own any Intel. You have a great evening. Drive carefully. When you get home, do like I do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family, hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better, I promise. I'll be on Fox Business Network at 1 p.m. tomorrow. Check it out. Have a good night, everybody. Peace out.